What happens when the leader of Iran and the Prime Minister of Israel face each other, but not on a battlefield, rather in a digital debate judged by 5 AI judges who aren't on anyone's side? This is not just a debate, it's a logical battle to prove superiority. By the end of this video, one of these two will come out more convincing, using only logic, reasoning, and words. Ready?
Question 1. Is a war between Iran and Israel inevitable, or can it still be prevented?
War between Iran and Israel is never inevitable. History has shown that even in highly tense situations, military conflict can be avoided through diplomacy, dialogue, and the building of mutual trust. Iran has consistently stated that it seeks peace and stability in the region and views war as a last resort. The existing problems stem from political, ideological, and historical issues that can be resolved through negotiation and diplomatic efforts. The key lies in mutual understanding, respect for each other's right to exist and independence, and avoiding military and media provocations. At the same time, security threats from Israel and interference by third-party countries complicate the regional situation. However, with political will and international pressure, it is still possible to prevent war.
War between Iran and Israel is not inevitable, but it is highly likely, especially if Iran continues its nuclear program and support for militant groups in the region. Israel has the right to defend itself and must take security threats seriously. Iran pursues aggressive and destabilizing policies in the region, which increases tensions. Preventing war requires a fundamental change in Iran's policies, including halting support for terrorist groups and its nuclear program, which Israel sees as an existential threat. Diplomatic efforts must be accompanied by strong resolve and security guarantees in order to avoid military confrontation. If both sides are realistic, war can be avoided, but this requires trust building, which is extremely difficult under the current circumstances.
Question 2. If a war does break out, which side is more likely to win?
Victory in a war between Iran and Israel does not solely depend on military strength, but also on political, economic, social, and psychological factors. If a war occurs, true victory for either side is not the complete destruction of the enemy, but rather the preservation of national security and interests, gaining public and international support, and minimizing human and financial losses. Iran, with its young population, popular support, missile defense capabilities, and strength in asymmetric warfare, can inflict significant damage on Israel. However, Israel possesses advanced military technology, strong intelligence capabilities, and powerful global allies. Therefore, any prolonged conflict would be extremely costly for both sides and would likely turn into a war of attrition with no clear winner. In reality, victory means returning to the negotiating table from a stronger position.
Victory in war means ensuring national security and eliminating direct threats against Israel. Israel possesses advanced military capabilities, strong intelligence, and widespread support from the United States and Western allies, key advantages in any conflict. If war breaks out, Israel will aim to target Iran's military and nuclear infrastructure to minimize Iran's military threat. However, such a victory would require speed, precision, and international backing to keep the costs of war to a minimum. For Israel, victory means guaranteeing the safety of its citizens and putting an end to Iran's threats in the region. Still, no war comes without a price, and both sides would suffer significant damage.
Question 3. What do you demand from the opposing side, and what are you willing to offer in return?
Iran's primary demand from Israel is to cease acts of aggression and military threats, recognize the right to life and security of the region's nations, and stop supporting terrorist groups. Iran is prepared to pursue dialogue and constructive cooperation for regional peace and stability, provided that Israel abandons its hostile policies and respects the rights of the Palestinian people. At the same time, Iran will continue to strengthen its defense capabilities and will use all available means to protect itself. However, diplomacy remains the priority. Iran seeks to demonstrate that peace is attainable, but it will stand firm in the face of threats and pressure.
Direct threats against Israeli citizens. Israel is willing to enter into dialogue and even regional cooperation if Iran agrees to these conditions. In return, Israel will use every defensive and offensive tool at its disposal to safeguard its people and will not hesitate to act against any existing threats. For Israel, national security and survival are non-negotiable, and any agreement must guarantee these fundamental principles.
Question 4. Which country has greater military power? Please explain with strategic and technical reasons.
Iran's military power is a combination of diverse and strategic capabilities built around a defensive and asymmetric doctrine. Iran possesses a significant ballistic missile arsenal ranging from short to long range, advanced drone technology, and considerable electronic warfare capabilities. Its ground forces, including the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps or IRGC and Basij militia, are capable of guerrilla and asymmetric warfare, which can be effective against conventional Israeli forces. In the maritime domain, Iran holds relative control over the Persian Gulf and can influence vital oil transit routes. While Iran's air force faces limitations in modern equipment, it remains a credible threat through specialized tactics and upgrades to existing systems. Moreover, Iran is developing its cyber and intelligence warfare capabilities, which serve as complementary arms of its overall military power. Iran's overarching strategy is largely based on deterrence and exerting pressure through indirect and unconventional means.
Israel's military is among the most advanced in the world, particularly in military and intelligence technology. The Israeli Air Force is equipped with 4th and 5th generation fighter jets and missile defense systems such as the Iron Dome and David's Sling, which can counter a wide range of threats. Israel is a global leader in electronic warfare, satellite reconnaissance, and cyber warfare. The Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, are highly trained, organized, and professional, with a dedicated and compulsory military service. Israel's naval capabilities in the Mediterranean are notable and can effectively respond to regional maritime threats. Furthermore, Israel benefits from access to cutting-edge equipment and technologies through close cooperation with the United States and other allies, significantly enhancing its military capabilities. Israel's strategy combines rapid offensive operations, advanced defensive systems, and innovative technology to maintain its strategic edge.
Question 5. Are science and religion in conflict with each other, or can they complement one another?
In the event of war, Iran would enjoy broad and strong support from its people. The Iranian nation, with its long history of resistance against sanctions and foreign pressure, possesses a deep sense of patriotism and commitment to defending its independence. The widespread belief that such a war would be fought to protect the country's territory, culture, and national security serves as a powerful motivator for unity and public support. Iran's social and cultural structure, especially the Basij volunteer forces and a large population of mobilized youth, ensures a high level of grassroots backing. Media outlets and the educational system emphasize the values of resistance and steadfastness, which help foster national solidarity during times of crisis.
If war breaks out, the people of Israel would also demonstrate strong support for their country. Given Israel's history of repeated threats and wars, the society is highly unified and prepared to defend the nation. Mandatory military service and a deeply embedded culture of defense readiness further strengthen this support. In addition, the constant perception of threat and the need to protect families significantly enhances national cohesion and solidarity. The media and national leadership play a vital role in maintaining public morale, emphasizing that national security is the top priority. Ultimately, both countries would likely enjoy strong domestic support in the event of war, although the intensity of that support would depend on the duration and outcomes of the conflict.
In this debate, Benjamin Netanyahu received the highest score. Highest score awarded, AI, Gemini. Question 4. Debater Benjamin Netanyahu, score 8.9. Lowest score awarded, AI, Claude. Question 1. Debater Benjamin Netanyahu, score 7.5. Overall summary of the debate. Iranian representative emphasized diplomacy, deterrence, defense, and popular resistance as key strategic pillars. Argued that war is preventable and advocated for peace through dialogue. Described Iran as possessing asymmetric, grassroots, regional, and missile-based power. Called for an end to threats and for respect toward Palestinians. Believed that in case of war, Iran would enjoy high levels of public support. Israeli representative focused on security, preemptive deterrence, advanced technology, and global alliances. Considered war avoidable, but likely unless Iran changes its policies. Presented Israel as the most advanced military power in the region. Demanded Iran halt support for proxy forces and end its nuclear program. asserted that Israeli public support is strong, organized, and well-trained. The goal of this debate wasn't to decide who's right or wrong. It was to look at the discussion through the lens of AI and maybe learn something along the way. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.